most people know what these are. These are cleavers, or sometimes they're known as sticky buds or sticky weeds, stickywilly even in some parts of the country. Its scientific name is Galium aparine. Most people have learned about this at some point in their childhood because they have these tiny little buds that just stick to your clothes. I know we used to throw them at each other when we were kids, and my dogs constantly come home with all sorts of grass seeds and sticky buds in their fur that we have to take out for them. So cleavers are climbers. They're really sticky, so they can stick to all other plants and pull themselves up, and they also like to grow along fences and walls. But you can see, I don't know if you can see just behind me, I've got it all growing up. Let's see if we can do it. It's growing up Jack by the hedge, because Jack by the hedge grows quite tall, so it's using Jack by the hedge to get itself taller. It spreads its seeds through us and through animals, collecting our seeds onto fur and hair and clothes, and then we spread them in other places. So it is quite a hardy plant, and it can grow all over the place really. So it starts off really small in February, and you can find all the way until July, and in August it starts to die away a bit like this one. It starts going brown. Now earlier in the year it's really good while it's young and to use as a tonic or in teas, and as it gets older, about this time in the year when some of the seeds like this one here are going brown, it's great to use these seeds that you can use for coffees and other recipes. So as we all know, cleavers cling to things, which is also prevalent when it's in our body. It clings to toxins in our body and helps flush them out of our system, which is really great for detoxifying. It also has quite a lot of vitamin C in, and it's got ascorbic acid. It also has silicorin, and that's a mineral that's really great for your hair and your teeth and your nails. So quite a few health benefits for cleavers, even though they can be a little bit annoying. So you can use the aerial parts as food, so that's like the leaves, the stems and the seeds, although the stem can be a little bit woody and a bit sticky, so sometimes it's good to pull them off. I know I've pulled off all the leaves and added it to a curry before, but you got to make sure you take out those sticks because they're not very tasty. Even when it's young, they're a bit horrible. So the leaves can be eaten raw, especially early in the year like February, but they do have like those tiny little grippers on that I don't really like that unless I'm cooking it quite well, although the seeds, they're better as the plant gets older. So some recipe ideas: you can use them in soups, in curries, in a stew. That's the leaves. You can boil them, fry them with other vegetables, be blitzed and added to smoothies to get that extra vitamins in. And the seeds can also be used roasted and as a coffee. And it's actually one of the plants that has a bit of caffeine in it, and it actually does taste more like coffee than any of the other coffees that I've ever made. This one actually does taste quite similar to coffee. Not exactly like coffee, but more like coffee than anything else that I've tried. So its Latin name is Galium aparine, and aparine, the aparo part in the Latin, means to cling to, which exactly is what cleavers do. So the name actually matches. Now some people can be a little bit sensitive to cleavers, especially if you grab them. You can sometimes feel on your hands that they've irritated you. So if they have irritated your hand and you come out with a little bit of a rash, a bit of contact dermatitis, then it might be best to avoid eating cleavers. It does have a natural caffeine, so if you know that you're caffeine sensitive, or anybody that does or is caffeine sensitive, it might be best to avoid, or if you've got polycystic conditions that caffeine aggravates, it might be best to leave them. To make Cleavers coffee, first of all, you need to collect the seeds. The brown ones are actually the best ones. These here are a little bit green, just turning brown. The browner they are, the better they are. That means they're nice and dry and ready. It does take quite a while to collect the seeds. Once you've collected them, you need to pop them on a baking tray and put them in the oven. 200 degrees for about 35 to 40 minutes. Then when they're ready, take them out and let them cool. Then pop them in a coffee grinder. Give them a whirl until they're in a powder. Then add this powder to your hot water and your milk while it's boiling. If you want to, you could add some spices. Cinnamon go quite well in this. So does mugwort and nutmeg, whatever you like. So now you need to stir it and let it simmer for about 5 minutes. Then pour it into your cup and enjoy a Cleavers coffee. The most coffee-like that isn't coffee flavoured drink. Enjoy.